All right, guys, another Oris. Aquis GMT this time. This is the Whale Shark Limited Edition. Little pamphlet here that comes with it. And you're going to notice the dial looks a lot like the whale shark, which is the largest fish in the ocean. So Oris is known for doing collaborations like this. So, and this one is a limited edition. This is number 117 of 2016. Pretty cool. It's still a lot of watches, but it is a limited edition. It's numbered. This is the 43.5 millimeter case, although I pretty much couldn't really get 43.5 measurements anywhere. The closest one would be the bezel. So if I measure from here to here, going off the case, it's like 43 millimeter. If I measure the bezel, it's like just over 43.5. So I'm guessing that's what they're basing it on. But if you look, the way the case shape is, and then the bezel actually protrudes out a little bit more than this part here. So I guess it's 43.5, but it definitely doesn't wear like a 43.5. And then the lug to lug is a 49.9, so almost that 50 millimeter lug point there. You have a 7.5 millimeter screw down crown, keeping a 300 meter water depth rating on it. And it's only 13.3 millimeter thick with that double dome sapphire crystal. We have integrated bracelet to case. So we don't really have a lug width, but this is about 24 millimeter here, tapering down to 18 millimeter, polished outer flanks, brush center. You have a fold over milled center part of the clasp, double pusher, stamped clasp, 3 micro adjust, and a dive extension that almost no one's going to use. You have screw pins, and you have screw, if you can call them spring bars, not really spring bars. And you can see it's a proprietary screw, but you can get the screwdriver right here. This is it. So if we zoom in, you'll see it has a special fitting there. So if you're going to buy one of these Oris Aquis of the older ones, the newer ones, they have a quick release thing. But if you want one of the extra straps, you're definitely going to want that tool because they do have some really cool straps. But like I said, I think most of the newer ones are having a quick release integrated push button release thing. So I think they've upgraded that. Inside this thing is a Oris 798, otherwise known as a Salida SW330. Just so you know, the main reason why a lot of brands will do that, where they'll name their own movement, and typically they can do that basically just by putting like their own rotor or something on there. Then it becomes their movement essentially. They've done something to it. The main reason they do that is because it leaves them the option of sourcing whatever movement they want. Oris, in this case, shares with everybody on their website. I'll put a link down below to their website for this. They tell you what movement it is. They call it the 798, and then they tell you exactly what one they're using for this particular run. It's the SW330. But it leaves them open if they want to switch to an ETA or if they want to go to a SOPROD or whatever the heck movement they want to go to, they have that option. So that's nice for brands to do that because sometimes availability can be an issue. But it is a good movement. It is a caller's GMT, meaning that you don't jump the hour hand there, the standard 12-hour hand. Rather, you jump the 24-hour hand, and it only goes forward. And then when you spin the crown the other way, the date moves the other way. One of the biggest draws to this particular model is that dial. The dial is just very fun, very cool looking. And then you also have that two-toned ceramic bezel insert with the black up the top and the blue down at the bottom. It works really well. I think this one's just the right amount of busy on this. Also have a little pop of orange at the triangle at the 24-hour mark on the bezel, the framing of the GMT hand, and then of course the GMT letters down below near the 6 o'clock position, date at 3 o'clock, black wheel, white print. Has a custom case back, has the whale shark on there with all its little dots and everything. You also have your number of what watch you have. This is, like I said, 117 of 2016. And this is a Swiss-made watch. You also have a 120-click bi-directional bezel. It has decent bezel action. It's pretty smooth and tactile. And it lines up. all good things. Let's pop this on wrist so you can see what it looks like on a 7 1/4 inch wrist of Random Rob. There you go. I wore this thing all day today, and I haven't really wiped it a ton, so I'm trying to give you a fair representation of how smudgy it's going to be under normal wear. It's got all these polished bits here. Those are going to get smudged and or scratched. You know, you have a ceramic bezel insert, so that's going to be scratch proof or resistant, but the rest of those polished bits are going to show scratches and smudges. That is the way it goes. I mean, the ceramic bezel is actually a smudge magnet to a certain extent as well because it is polished. So if you freak out about that stuff, you know, it might bug you. Otherwise, just get yourself a microfiber cloth and just give it a little wipe down. No big deal. Back in action. Let's give it a quick blast with the Loom light, the UV light. Also, I wanted to show this. The previous owner of this, or the owner of this, sent it over. He actually bought this strap. It looks like the retail price on the strap is $250. Now that does seem like a lot of money, right, to most of us. But I've bought enough straps with these buckles to know that $250 is legit like half the price of what a lot of brands are charging. And this is a nice high quality clasp buckle system here. So it's easy to adjust here, and then of course you can cut this down to size, but it also has an on-the-fly quick adjust here, which is just double, you know, you push on either side and you can ratchet it in or ratchet it out. Like 5 positions there, I think. So you have plenty of flexibility with this thing, and I'm sure it's extremely comfortable. But like I said, it has proprietary hardware, and then you also are going to need this driver. So keep that in mind. But this orange would look really good with the pop of orange on this watch, I think. So I'm pretty sure that's why the owner bought it. I don't think he ever wore it that way, but it's nice to have full kit sometimes just in case you want to try it. All right, let's kill the lights and check the Loom on this thing. BGW9, and like some other reviewers, I don't usually do this, but I did watch Jody from Just One More Watch, his video on it, as just because I was actually thinking about buying the watch myself. And the one thing he pointed out is the lack of Loom on the GMT hand. That is a little bizarre, like because it's white and you have the real estate. So I don't know why they didn't Loom that, but whatever. Can't win them all. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next. Oh, also, big thanks to Greg Wood. That's the owner of this watch. That's who sent it in. So, Greg, you're awesome. Thank you. I'll see you on the next vid.